Greetings, everybody. Wow, I am so excited and so happy to be here with you today. I've been, um, I've been, this whole week, I've been really, really excited, and this energy has been welling up inside of me, and I'm just so happy to share with you today. My name is Simrit, and I'm really grateful that you chose to get on this train with me today, to hop on and to go on this ride together with me. It's a journey. We're going to go on a beautiful journey today, powerful, deep. We're going to do some beautiful yoga exercises from the Kundalini yoga tradition, which is going to take us really quickly into ourselves. And we're going to see the stuff come up and we're going to move through it, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to do some beautiful vocal exercises today, just a couple to warm up the channel and the vocal cords, and we're going to do some chanting and singing, and we're going to chat today about living clearly and confidently in a challenging world. When I was thinking about a title for this webcast, I was thinking about what could I convey most genuinely, most dynamically, without it sounding cheesy and without being like, we're so authentic in a challenging world, because, everyone wants to feel authentic. Everybody wants to feel their genuine selves, their truth. But it's so easily tossed around, especially in the spiritual communities or yoga communities. And it's so easily tossed around, especially in this super PC society right now. We're in a really PC time. It's like over the top. It's in a place right now where it's extremely it's extremely polarized. It's either like really over here or really over here. So what our work today is to stay here and to bring ourselves back here consistently, as much as possible, on a daily basis if possible, and multiple times a day if possible. And it's not a hard thing to do, but the challenge of it is grappling with the brain, is grappling with the subconscious mind, which lies between the conscious mind of what we know is going on consciously right here and now. I'm consciously seeing you through this camera. I'm consciously seeing these cameras move around me. I'm consciously seeing that I'm wearing these white clothes and this head wrap, and I have this phone right here. I'm aware of that in my consciousness. Then there's the unconscious. And then in between the conscious and the unconscious, there's the subconscious. So that's beneath the conscious mind, and it's what was really moving us through life. So for instance, something like trauma from the time we're a little kid, any kind of thoughts that we're not processing on a daily basis, which is thousands of thoughts, by the way, because every time the eye blinks like this, just easy, we have 1,000 thoughts that move through. We don't consciously process all those thoughts. That would be insane. So where do those thoughts go? They go to the trash can of the subconscious, is what we call it. So all those thoughts are being dumped into the subconscious. And then what happens when those thought forms get dumped into the subconscious, all those thoughts, they start to clump together into different forms, into different shapes. And this is what we're seeing our life through. The subconscious is what's really, is how we're moving through life. When we're not, it's not the, we're not even sometimes aware of it. It's the habits that are running the life. So what we want to do, and what we're endeavoring to do today, is to come to a place in between the polarities so that we can experience the dynamic self, the genuine self, so that we can clear the subconscious and it's like a cleaning the windshield, so we can take out that garbage. Because if we're filling the trash can up and we never take it out, then we have a problem and we start to overflow. And that's how the subconscious works. If we don't work on clearing the subconscious, then it overflows into the conscious, and it's how we start to see our lives, and it's the shapes in which we see our lives through, and it gets really cloudy and it gets murky. So what we want to do is endeavor to be in the center of the polarity And we're going to do that through these exercises. And the voice is the quickest way to break through all that muck and to get into the dynamic, genuine self, the voice. And the ancient sages have known this for time immemorial, that the tip of our tongue is the most profound and potent power that we have as human beings. And it's the most profound power on this planet. And therefore, we're encouraged by media to keep quiet. We're encouraged by media to look a certain way. Why? Because it dumbs us down. Why are we encouraged to look a certain way? Why are we encouraged to keep our mouths shut? Why are we so encouraged to be so PC in this time? What's up with humanity right now is we're going through a process. The zit is at the whitehead right now, and it's really intense, and it's challenging, and we're being bombarded with a ton of information, right? This is the information age, and we're moving out of that. We're in the Aquarian age, but we're still on the precipice here. So it's a tough time. We have to sift through all the information. We're being bombarded with how our butt should look, for one. For one, everyone wants either a slim body or everyone wants the curves and the big butt. It's not just a slim body anymore. I grew up with this slender body. I don't try to be like this. I grew up like this. And I got made fun of for being like this my whole life. I got made fun of for having this beautiful Greek nose, this Greek Persian nose. I have Persian in me as well. I grew up in a small southern town, and I went through a lot of challenges growing up, just like everyone else. Everyone here has too. I grew up with a brother with special needs where I was his second mother as a child, and that was heavy. It was heavy on me as a child. So there was a lot that I was processing as a child. And since I was a very young child, I was digging really deep in myself to find the meaning of my existence here, to feel the legitimacy of my existence here. From the time I was in grade school, I was wondering, what is this all about? You know, what is all this about? Why am I being made fun of because of my small size? And then looking at the magazines, why are these women and men idolized for being thin and anorexic? Why are they being successful for that? Why is a woman being deemed a good woman, or a man being deemed a good man for these certain properties? Why does a woman a better woman if she's just, smiles all the time? And if she is not in her power and she doesn't say what she feels and she just keeps it shut? Why is that deemed more elegant instead of someone that speaks their truth and penetrates? Why does that get more flack and more pushback than someone that's just, that has that going on, that's not saying anything? Or why does a man act a certain way, and then he's more respected when he acts that way? Or why does a man respect a woman, or a woman respect a man when they act certain ways? Well, we've been trained since we've been very young to inhabit these beliefs. And what they do is they cause a subconscious pattern and a subconscious way of being. And this is what we're endeavoring to do, to break out of today. But it takes consistency. So I'm going to share with you some beautiful tools that I've used my whole life, but really that I've been cultivating the last 20 years of my life seriously, and that I've learned that have helped me break that mold, that have helped me break out of that subconscious, habitual belief system that held me down, that squashed me, and ultimately I'm doing that myself. I'm not blaming someone else for doing it. I'm not blaming the kids that made fun of me for being ethnic growing up in a small southern town. I'm not blaming the media, actually, for me taking on and buying those ideas that they sold me. Ultimately, that was my decision. However, when I'm so young, and when we're so young as children and we take those things on, we don't have the tools. We haven't had access to these kinds of tools and information to empower us to make that choice. So we're here today because we have a choice. We can be like this. We can keep our mouths shut. We can tell ourselves with our voices that we don't have a legit life, that we don't mean anything, that we're just okay, that we're not beautiful, that we're not powerful, that our voices suck, that our voices don't have meaning, that our voices don't have power. We can tell ourselves that. And even if we're not telling ourselves that consciously, what is our subconscious telling us? We can tell ourselves all day, I have a beautiful voice, but if I'm not going in there and getting right with myself and clearing my subconscious, that ain't going to happen. That affirmation's only going to be skin deep. Do you hear what I'm saying? Or we can choose to live an empowered life. We can choose, on the other hand, to accept and acknowledge and really, we can really, what's the word I'm looking for here? We can really accentuate our diversity in ourselves, our dynamic selves, because we're not just one way, right? We're dynamic human beings. We have all types of facets. And when we learn to accept and to not only accept, but accentuate and begin to love those facets as well, not just the facet where I'm just like this and keep my mouth shut. And when we also learn to love the shadow facets of ourselves, that's when our power really comes through. That's when we're heard. That's when our sound really makes a difference. Okay, so what are you going to choose today? What have you been choosing? Okay, and that's okay. What have you been choosing? Whatever you've been choosing is okay. Sometimes we don't even know that we've made the choice to disempower ourselves. Sometimes we're not even aware of that. Sometimes that's the subconscious habits coming through. But today is a new day, and in each moment, we have the ability to choose to empower ourselves. And empowerment doesn't mean we're loud. It can be, doesn't have to be. It doesn't mean that we're singers, some professional singer in the world. It can be if that's your profession. It doesn't mean that you're soft and you keep it all to yourself. It's your empowerment, and your genuine power is your natural state of being, which is unique to you. It's your natural sound. It's your natural vibration, which is unique to you. And what we're going to do with the voice in just a minute here in these warm-up exercises is we're going to hone in and we're going to harness that unique power. And all it takes is a simple tuning in with ourselves on a consistent basis to really feel that, to really experience that. And when we experience that place of that infinite place, that part of us that never dies consistently, then it's a lot easier to access that when we're being bombarded by all this information about how we should look, how we should act, how I shouldn't say certain things, how I shouldn't talk, because if I say this, then I'm like this, or I'm the left or right, or I'm a racist, or I'm not, or I'm this, or I'm that, or if I say the wrong thing, I'm going to offend too many people, or if I don't say anything, I'm going to offend so many people, or if I say this, I'm not being a proper woman. I'm not being this way or that way. Or if I don't say this, I'm not being intelligent or smart. And what I'm endeavoring to do in my life and my goal is to not give a shit what anybody thinks about me, is to care about myself, to care about people, but to not give a shit about all the opinions and all the ads and all the negative feedback that I get, and all the positive feedback that I get. You hear what I'm saying? One of my great teachers, Dr. Maya Angelou, said, the key to living in the middle is to not pick it up and to not put it down. So when someone gives me a compliment, I accept it gracefully, but I don't pick that up. You see what I'm saying? I don't pick that up. And when someone gives me a negative comment, I don't have to pick that up either. Or when someone comes at me in a negative way, because believe me, I get it on a daily basis. When we put ourselves out there, no matter if you're a mother at a PTA meeting, no matter if you're a professional out in the world, no matter if you're using your marketing skills and you're marketing yourself and putting yourself out there, like I do, I market, or no matter if you're putting yourself out there as a yoga teacher or a firefighter or a friend in a group of people, you're going to get that negative feedback. You're going to get jealousy. You're going to experience hate. You're going to experience fear. You're going to experience all that stuff. And that's just a part of life. And these are our lessons. And these are beautiful things. These are the graces that we receive from the infinite so that we can learn to live with more grit, with more sincerity, with more empathy, and with more compassion, first for ourselves. And then when we can experience that in ourselves, then we can actually experience that in our relationship with other people. And we can actually understand ourselves better. We can see ourselves. We can empathize with ourselves and what we've been through and what we're going through now. And then we can empathize with other people as well, because we have the capacity to empathize with ourselves. We have the capacity to forgive ourselves. If we fall off the train, if we're some people say you're on a diet. Some people say, hey, I'm going to do this 40-day meditation. Some people say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give myself these affirmations. I'm going to do this. I'm going to clear this subconscious on a daily basis. I'm going to be all natural, or whatever you want to do. And then you fall off that train. Or maybe you gave yourself a nose job in the past. Or maybe you had a sex change in the past. Or maybe you dye your hair, or maybe you don't. Maybe you wear makeup and maybe you don't. That doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with the spirituality. Spirituality has nothing to do if I wear makeup or if I get a boob job. Spirituality is how I feel about that, what my relationship to that is. You see what I'm saying? Spirituality has nothing to do if you go and you dye your roots in your hair. Spirituality has to do with the relationship you have with that. Spirituality has nothing to do with me chanting a mantra. Spirituality has to do with the relationship I have with chanting that mantra, not with the words itself. You see what I'm saying? The way that we legitimize ourselves in this world and we feel the magic is the sincerity of our sound. The power inside of our voice comes from the sincerity of our sound, and we're going to cultivate that. So what I'd like to do together with you is I'd like to tune in, and this is a beautiful way of tuning in to the higher self, tuning in to the big self, to the part of us, the self that never dies, not the self that has these appearances on the outside, not the self that feels the small confidence, but the self that is where the real, the long-lasting and the true confidence comes from, which is deep inside of us. And when I speak about clarity and confidence in a challenging world, I'm not talking about fake it till you make it confidence. I'm not talking about better than confidence and better than attitude. I'm talking about the true inner confidence that nothing can shake, no matter what somebody says to you, no matter what you say to yourself. It's that connection with the infinite part of yourself that never dies. That's the confidence I'm talking about. And the way to experience that on a consistent basis, and the way to get there quickly, is through the sound of your own unique voice that has been given to you, specifically designed for your particular body, which is a resonator channel. That has been given to you for your own healing, your own physical and spiritual growth. And when I say physical growth, because when we grow inside and when we connect with that inner sound, which is so crucial, by the way, an unadulterated sound, the supreme sound, what I call, that sound changes and forms the way that we look because it affects us on a cellular level. So it affects our biology, it affects our DNA. It affects us on a cellular level, that sound, that authentic, genuine sound that was given to us when we were created, when we were made, when we were born. We inhabit this particular resonator channel, not this shirt, I just did that to pull that up, but this particular body was designed for me, and your particular body was designed for you to be a resonator channel, to be a channel. Okay, we don't have to talk about resonator channel. We can go into that later, but a channel for this incredibly healing sound that is the key to your physical, your spiritual, and your energetic healing, and your emotional healing. This particular sound. Did you know that? The ancient sages told us from time immemorial, and they're telling us today through, we can read it in books, we can get it in meditation, that sound is the most profound healing tool that we have on this planet. What are you telling yourself about your sound. What is your sound telling you? What is the mantra that is running through your mind on a consistent basis that shapes who you are today, that shapes what you look like, that shapes how healthy you feel in yourself, and that shapes the health of your mind? And when I talk about the mind, it's not just the brain, it's the whole entity, the mind. What is your voice telling you, and how are you using your voice to empower you and other people? That's the question I want you to ask yourself today. And that's what I want to get into. So we're going to tune in today with the sound of our own voice, unadulterated. There's a mantra that we tune into with Kundalini Yoga. It's a beautiful mantra, and it's Ong, O-N-G, Ong, and we resonate that, and we call it the nasal conch. Ong, we nasalize that sound. Namo, Namo. I give reverence to. Ong is that creative energy manifest here right now on the earth. Manifest here. Ong. Namo, I give reverence to. Guru. Guru is that wisdom that brings us from being asleep to awake, from being unconscious to conscious. Guru. And I give reverence to that which lives inside of me and which lives inside of you. Everybody has that. Dev Namo. Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. I give reverence to that infinite well of wisdom that lives inside of me, that came before me, that's here with me now, and that will come after me. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And what this does is it tunes us in to that beautiful place, that beautiful center inside ourselves. And it surrounds us in light of protection. It's beautiful. So let's tune into that one breath. So it's going to sound like this. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Beautiful. And then when we chant this, all of this polarity falls away. And this is why we do this. It brings us into the center. Am I radiant enough, or am I not radiant enough? If I wear my hair out, if I wear my hair covered, if I follow this path, if I don't follow this path, am I religious enough? Am I not religious enough? All this stuff is just a headache. Is my butt big enough? My butt's too small. My butt's too big. Am I too much weight? Am I not enough weight? You know what I'm saying? Everyone goes through it. It's a constant thing. This is a polarity planet. We can't escape it. It's a polarity planet for a reason, and it's our job to inhabit the middle way, to inhabit the center. And when I say that, it's not some flighty, new agey thing that I'm talking about. Like, let's be in our center and feel peace, because we don't always feel peace, and that's okay. But what we're endeavoring to do is to really inhabit that diversity within ourselves, that dynamic self, and to really appreciate it, to really love it, to pretty harness it, to really harness that energy and to use it for a beautiful, healthy life for ourselves, no matter where we came from. No money, food stamps. I can go on about that. No matter where we came from, that doesn't define who we are now. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to go into that space of no ethnicity, of no gender, of the Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. I give reverence to that which is inside of me, that divine wisdom that lives inside of each and every one of us. All right, here we go. We're going to bring the hands together, palms together, rubbing just like this, creating some heat and friction, because we have all of these nerve endings in the hands and the feet too. But this is why when you see a lot of healers using their hands, a lot of dancers that use their hands like this, a lot of singers too, right? Because this is how we feel, and this is how we bring energy in. And this is how energy moves as well. It moves through the voice and through sound. You don't have to do anything with your hands. The voice will do it on its own. But a lot of times when I'm singing, I use my hands, and I'm not even trying to move them in a certain way. They just move, and it's the way that energy moves, and it's a feeling, it's a pulse. Okay, so Om Namo Guru Dev Namo 3 times. We're going to close the eyes down. We're going to sit straight spine, slightly tuck the chin in so that the spine stays straight and protected. And we're going to chant together. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And inhale deeply. Retain the breath. Relax the chest cavity while you're retaining the breath. Allow the prana, the life force, to feed the cells. Retain the breath. Retain the breath. Exhale. Beautiful. And just for a moment here, I want you to close the eyes down. We're going to take some deep breaths from the navel. Because when I talk about the voice and empowering your voice, many benefits come from that. And what I love about it is I feel softer. I feel more loose in my body. I feel more relaxed. I feel happier. I feel more genuine in myself. All the problems that I had or that I experienced in the past, or all of the challenges that seem really huge to me right now, seem to shrink as my perception grows bigger. Does that make sense? And that's what the voice does for you. It relaxes you. It changes the biology on a cellular level. It changes the way that you appear, that you look. Literally, it relaxes the face. It relaxes the body. It relaxes the mind. The things that we think and that seem so huge to us right now. And believe me, I'm talking about money issues, relationship issues, childhood issues, things that we can all relate about, right? That we've all been through some stuff, some really serious stuff. And I empathize with you, and I know you empathize with me. We empathize with each other. But all that said, we're here right now, and we're going to experience what the power of the sound of our voice can do for us. Empower us, relax us, help us improve our quality of life. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take some deep breaths. We're going to close the eyes down. And when I say we're going to take some deep breaths, if we're going to have that, bring that fire of that passion of creativity through, which is what we ultimately all want to experience in ourselves, is that fire, that passion of creativity, the magic of life, the magic of who we are, then we have to use the breath. We have to use the navel and engage the navel and cultivate the navel. And we must become comfortable with our own unique sound, unadulterated, not trying to sound like somebody else. That's true empowerment. And that's going to spill over into every aspect of your life. Okay, but first, deep breaths. First thing is first, eyes closed down, spine straight, deep breath. I'm going to play you some music. This is from my new upcoming album that's coming out in August, me and my band's upcoming album. And these tracks are not even mixed. Okay, so these are the rough of the rough. These are just straight from the recording. The vocals are kind of low in here, but there's something about the vibe in this music that I want you to get right now, that I want to share with you. So while we're taking these deep breaths, we'll hear these sounds, these beautiful sounds. From the navel, it's just going to be a minute here with the breaths. Here we go. Eyes closed down, focus here in between the eyebrows. We're going to really stimulate the pituitary gland, which is further back in the brain here. But this is the gateway right here in between the eyebrows and up. We call it the third eye. This is the seat of the intuition, the seat of youthfulness. This is what gets calcified over many, many years of being on this planet and not working with it. And then we become out of touch with our own voice. Inhaling deeply, retaining the breath. Exhaling, eyes closed, spine straight, and continue this. Inhaling deeply from the navel. Allow the belly to expand when you breathe in. Retain the breath. Focus in between the eyebrows. And then exhale and let that breath go. Continue this just for a minute here. We're just going to center ourselves in this vibe. Listening to the sound of your breath The sound of your voice is your intuition. The sound of your soul is the physical sound that comes through, that rides the breath. That's the sound of your soul. Why not get in touch with that sound? Why not? It's the most beautiful sound that you can experience, is the sound of your soul, and that's the physical sound that rides on the magic carpet of your breath, that rides on the wave of your breath. Deep breaths here. Retain and then exhale. Continue for another minute here. Give thanks to yourself for being here. Give thanks to yourself for allowing yourself to cry. Give thanks to yourself for allowing yourself to feel. Give thanks to the cells of your body for supporting your life. Inhale deeply. Retain the breath. Apply a mulband. When I say mulband, navel, rectum, and sex organ in and up. We're going to consolidate the energy in the central channel here. Retain the breath. Retain. Focus the eyes into the third eye. Focus your gaze here. Eyes are still closed. Now exhale. One more time. Retain. Focus your gaze into the third eye. Navel, rectum, sex organ in and up. Squeeze gently and exhale. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to do some neck rolls just to loosen this area up, okay? Just loosen it up. So just like this, I want you to keep your jaw open. So that means your mouth is going to be slightly open too. Keep your jaw open. Keep your jaw relaxed. You know what I'm saying? And then keep your mouth slightly open. Spine is straight, eyes closed down. Get inside yourself. Feel yourself from the inside. It's your job to champion for yourself. Keep going. Keep doing those beautiful neck rolls gracefully, beautifully. Do them at your own speed, your own pace. Make sure you keep that jaw open. And remember, you have to be your biggest champion for yourself. No one else is going to do it. Who else is going to do it? You have to do it for yourself. And when you do it for yourself, the infinite does it for you and with you. But you have to also champion yourself. The infinite will champion you when you champion yourself. Okay, now reverse the direction. Same thing, other direction. Just let the breathing happen naturally. Keep going. Why is it that with our children, no matter what they're doing in their process, we champion them, or I at least hope we are? They show us a painting, doesn't look perfect, but wow, it's so beautiful, and we love their creative process. Why aren't we doing that for ourselves? When they use beautiful manners and when they're kind to their friends, we give them props for doing that. We encourage them. We believe in them. Why aren't we doing that with ourselves? Right? We have to champion ourselves as well. Beautiful. Inhale to the center. Exhale, relax. Just 2 more quick little physical warm-ups here. Okay, inhale both shoulders up. Exhale both shoulders down. And I want you to move at your own pace here. A big inhale in, big inhale out. It's like a big sniff in and a big sniff out. Faster. Move at your own pace, nobody else's pace but yours. Move. Beautiful. Inhale, both shoulders up. Vulva, navel, rectum, sex organ in and up. Focus the gaze in between the eyebrows. Retain the breath. Exhale powerfully. Beautiful. Hands right here on the shoulders. Fingertips in the front. Thumbs in the back. Inhale as we twist to the left. The head moves with the body. Do your best to keep your biceps parallel to the ground. If they fall a little bit, that's okay. We're going to inhale as we turn to the left, exhale as we turn to the right. Beautiful, keep going. Eyes closed down, focused in between the eyebrows. Beautiful, last little bit here, 30 seconds, keep going. Breaking down the walls, allowing the creative passions to flow. Breaking down the walls, allowing the creative passions to flow. This requires breath, breathe, movement, move, and cultivating our unique sound. Inhale to the center. Retain the breath. Focus the gaze, navel, rectum, sex organ in and up. And exhale and relax. Beautiful. Beautiful. Feels good, doesn't it? Feels good to move the body. It feels good to breathe and to enliven our cells, to wake ourselves up. It feels good to fill the body with oxygen and with beautiful, life-giving breath. That's crucial, and I encourage y'all to do something like that on a daily basis, even if it's a little something here or there. All right, now we're going to do something fun with the voice. But first, I want you to give thanks to yourself for being here today and for showing up, because that's the biggest part of it. That takes the most work, is just showing up, because it takes us breaking through that subconscious barrier to even get here. And if we feel the fear in anything we do in our life, that's a good thing. I welcome the fear, and then I also want to work through that fear. It doesn't mean that I don't ever want to feel the fear, or that it means that when I feel the fear, I'm still able to live my life the way that I want to live my life, that feels good and right for me, and I'm living my life in my truth. And it still Even though I feel fears, it doesn't stop me from being who I am, and it doesn't stop me from doing what I do. You hear what I'm saying? It's not about getting rid of fears. It's not about bypassing fears. It's about feeling the fear and cultivating that intimate relationship with the part of ourselves that never dies through the profound healing, the profound healing of the unique sound. And through cultivating that, when we're bombarded with the information, when we feel the intensity of the fear, we still hear the truth of our voice. And we can be guided by that. And we can still hear that in the midst of the sea of bombardment of all this information. And that's what's needed in today's world. That's how we live clearly and confidently in today's world. Doesn't mean we don't feel sad. Doesn't mean we don't feel fear. It means that we know ourselves in such an intimate way that stuff doesn't faze us on a deep level. Does that make sense to you? I know you feel what I'm saying, and it resonates. It resonates because it's truth. So take this inspiration today and apply it in your life and allow that creative fire to come through in whatever way that does, whether you're a mother, a father, whether you're a videographer, whether you're an admin in an office job, whether you're a singer, whether you're a fireman, whether you're a policeman, whether you're a teacher in school, whether you're a public speaker, whether you're a trash collector, whether you're a janitor, whether you clean houses, whatever it is that you do, fashion, clothes, stay-at-home parent, whatever that is, apply that to your daily life and see what kind of change you experience in such a short period of time. It's profound. Okay, here we go. So what I want you to do is something really, you're going to be like, this is the best vocal exercise there is out there. And if you have TMJ, by the way, which I've experienced a more mild form of TMJ in my life when I was going through a really stressful period. I was actually hanging out in a yoga group. I was traveling down to LA a bunch, and I was hanging out with this crew of people. And I was the most stressed I think that was the most stressed I've ever been in my life. And when I was, it was a group of yoga students, and there was this older teacher man, this guy with gray hair, and everyone was like, oh, let's be with this teacher. And it was the most stressful situation in my whole life because everyone was competing to be who was the most devoted, who was the most radiant, who had the deepest eyes. Like, it was so ridiculous. And now I can see that, but it was the most ridiculous, most trite. It wasn't trite to me in the moment when I was going through it, but it was it's such a ridiculous thing to put on ourselves as human beings, to be like that, to have that kind of pressure on ourselves, pressure that's not needed. There's other pressures in life that happen, and we have to have those pressures, and those make us into diamonds, and all pressure essentially does that. But this was self-imposed pressure, and we all have those pressures, right? Self-imposed. That's what I was talking about. How do we look? How do we talk? How deep are our eyes? If we're in that kind of situation, maybe some of y'all haven't experienced something like that, but you've experienced something else. Maybe you've experienced that in a church, or maybe not, or maybe in some other group or whatever. But it's just, that was such a stressful period. And what I was saying was I got, during the few years of being in that situation, I had not TMJ where it was lockjaw, but it was something similar where at night, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, I'm sure some of you have, where your teeth grind and you hear it, and it would wake me up sometimes, and I was like, how am I doing all this yoga and meditation all the time and my teeth are grinding? I thought it was supposed to be relaxing, and it is, but the subconscious mind is so strong. And I'm going to teach you some tools here that are really going to help you break through that really quickly. And this is one of them. And this is the exercise that got me so quickly through that and really got this whole face relaxed, and all the musculature that was holding it really I guess at night when I was sleeping. And then I was doing a really beautiful Kriya that I want to teach you. It's amazing, and it's called Fists of Anger. We're going to do that in just a minute here. And doing fists of anger and doing this vocal trills exercise helped me release my jaw at night. And since then, I have never experienced that tense jaw again. And I know that I was in a stressful situation. And we can't always avoid stressful situations, but what we can do is we can change our internal environment to better deal with a stressful situation, so that we can take the energy from those situations, metabolize them, and then excrete in various forms what's not supportive, what we can't use from that, and then metabolize and assimilate what we can use from that stressful situation, transmute that into something that gives us radiance, true beauty, true grit, and true peace with ourselves. And yes, we can get that from a stressful situation. I've been in many stressful situations in my life, and I have learned that those are never going to fully go away. There's always going to be pressure in the world. We live in a world of gravity. There's always pressure, and there's always pressure in different situations in our lives. And there's always going to be challenge, and there's always going to be stress. We just can't avoid that. So what do we do about that? Do we choose to be like this and not say anything and just stay in our little space so that we don't get hurt? Or do we choose to be in our power? And do we choose to be in our dynamic selves, where our creative passion and fire is coming through? What's your choice? And that's what we're here today about. That's what today is all about. So this is awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do is do like what little babies do with their lips and go just like that. Now, when I first started doing this exercise years back, I experienced there would be times where I couldn't do where my lips wouldn't move like that. And there's two reasons that they can't do that. One, you don't have enough air in your system, so you have to take a breath. And then another reason is because I'm tight, and it takes a little time to loosen that up. It doesn't happen overnight, but you will notice results overnight, but it's not going to fully overnight. You're like a new person. It just takes consistency and time. And that's what we're here to share. That's what I'm here to share with you. People always wonder how my life works. And I'm like, this is how it works. You want to know? Here it is. And it's simple. It's nothing that's special from what anyone else is doing. It's just these unique tools have helped me so much that I really want to share them. So this is what I do on a daily basis for a few minutes. And this is called lip trills. So even if you do this in the shower, that's great. You don't have to be a singer to do it. Like I said, it helps really tense jaw. And it goes like this. Cool. Do it with me, okay? Remember to take a breath. Very good. That was awesome. I'm going to take you down this scale a little bit. We're going to go a little bit lower, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to hold this really low ah. And don't go so low that it strains your voice and that it hurts yourself. And I'm not with you in person, so I can't really tell what's going on when you're doing that. So I'm going to give you some tips. When you're using your voice and you're doing this kind of exercise, keep the jaw relaxed and open. A 2-finger distance is a good gauge, okay? Keep it open. Breathe from the navel. Harness your energy. That's our energy center. That's where all of our physical power comes from, and also a lot of our spiritual power comes from here. Of course, the heart has to be first and foremost, but this is our launching pad, the navel. So we have the navel, the breath, and then we have the tip of the tongue, and this is really crucial information. So when we're speaking, we want to engage the navel. We want to come from the heart if we can, right? We can still be firm and penetrate and come from the heart. Doesn't have to be soft. But we can have a warmth of presence and we can penetrate. But when we're penetrating, that has to involve the navel. So have you ever felt, gosh, how come this person can talk and people hear and get what they're saying, but when I talk, I don't feel heard, or I don't feel like I'm acknowledged, or I don't feel this or that? That's navel energy, my friend. And that is something that is super important to cultivate right now in this time in the world with all of this stuff that's going on, all this information. If we don't have a strong navel, nothing else in our body is going to be balanced. So when we balance the navel energy, that's this energy center that's about, you could put like your 2 fingers below your belly button. Nothing else is going to be balanced. So that's first and foremost. That's our springboard. That's our foundation, the navel. And then from the navel, we can go wherever we want, and we can project from wherever we want. But that gives us the penetrative power. And I go into all of this stuff. I have a full course called the Supreme Sound 2.0, and we go through all of this in fine detail. And that's for another time. But what I would like to say is, for now, utilize the energy of this energy center, the navel, and you can pull it in and up, and you can feel it slightly. If you pull it slightly in and up, you can feel it. And like I said, it's that 2-finger distance below the belly button. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk down this scale, and we're going to use the sound ah. And ah is the sound that correlates to the heart. Okay, and we're doing this on purpose with that sound. So, ah, okay, just like that. And we're going to hold it for 4 beats. So for those of you that aren't musicians, don't even worry about it. It's just like, beat is just like boom. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, 2, 3, 4. That's like 4 beats. You know what I mean? So we're going to go like this. Ah, 2, 3. Keep the mouth open. Breath. Ah, 2, 3, 4. Ah, ah. Now, if you feel like you can't go lower than that and it's hurting your voice, don't go lower than that. And if you can stretch a little bit, then do it. And now, I'm going to take you this low. Now, keep this sound going. Keep the mouth dropped. Keep that open. Breathe from the navel when you take a breath. Take a deep breath and then start the sound again. So when you run out of breath, take a deep breath and go again. So we're going to do this continually just for a couple of minutes here. Okay, so let's go. This gets into the emotional body, clears the emotional crud, clears physical crud from the throat. If you ever feel hoarse or you ever have a bunch of mucus in your throat, keep going with those ahs. I'm going to talk a little bit while you're doing it. This is a good exercise to really open the throat, get those lower registers strong so that your middle and higher registers are strong, either whether you're speaking or not. It clears a lot of that mucus crud out of the throat. It might not take it totally away, but it clears a lot of that out of there. It refreshes the voice. However, if you're going too low, if this is too low for you, do it above this note. Don't go this low. I usually go 3 notes lower than this. when I'm doing mine, but I feel like that's too low for today because, we haven't practiced this together. But this kind of stuff is in the Supreme Sound 2.0 course, and it's awesome. So, going. If the voice isn't steady and it wavers, that's okay. That's normal, especially if it's your first time doing it here. This really tonifies your voice. It gives it more flexibility, and it really strengthens that lower, middle, and higher register just by doing an exercise like this. And it takes you deep into yourself. It's a very primal sound. Keep going with it. It's not about being a pretty sound. It's a primal sound. It's a sound of truth. So keep going with it. Last minute here. Key to this long, deep breathing when you're using your voice, this is not with yoga exercises, but I'm talking about with your voice, is don't let your breath fully go out and don't squeeze, because that squeezes those vocal cords together and causes inflammation and friction. So what you want to do is when you're almost out of breath, take another deep breath. Beautiful. Inhale deeply and exhale and relax. That was awesome. I love utilizing my voice to really get deep inside myself. It totally changes my frequency. It changes my frequency. It's not like I'm always like, hey, yay, yeah, I'm so great. It's not, I have to work on it too. We all have to work on it. So the voice is the most powerful and the quickest way to get there. I tell you, it's not by mistake that for thousands and thousands of years, people have been using the power of their own unique sound for their own personal healing and their tremendous happiness and peace and health. That has been going on for millennia. And now we're learning and we're relearning to utilize that same tool and these same tools to get back into that. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's amazing. Okay, we're going to do this awesome meditation together, and it's going to involve some chanting. But this first thing that we're going to do is something called Fists of Anger. And this is what I was telling you I did, and it really enhanced my voice. And you're going to be like, enhanced your voice? How does this enhance your voice when you're going? But it does, trust me. And it enhances the way that you can relax and the way that you feel about yourself. So what this does is it clears something called the arc line that we all have that goes from earlobe to earlobe. It's an energetic, it's the base of what we call our aura, our energy field. And it's where all information, it's our protective force, basically. It's what helps us to filter things. So all this information that's coming in and out of our lives, how does it filter? How do we consciously filter that? Are we going to try to micromanage all that? Hell no, that is too much. That causes so much stress and strain and headache. So this is why I like to do this kind of practice on a daily basis and work with my body and my voice so that I don't have to think about those things. Those things just naturally, the negative comments, they roll off. The death threats, they roll off. You see what I'm saying? The thoughts that in my own head, my own worst enemy in my own mind, in my own brain. You're not good enough. You don't sound good enough. You're not this enough. You're not this enough. You're too this. You're too that. You're not this enough. All that stuff. Everybody has that mind chatter. Everybody has it. Every single person has that. And all that stuff whittles away at our spirit. And it slowly and surely will do it until one day we feel depressed. Until one day we have chronic anxiety. Until one day we're extremely overweight because we have so much grief. And we're holding on to that. Because one day we are feeling anorexic. And all of a sudden we have anorexia or bulimia. Or one day we have this psychosis going on. Or whatever it is that we have. And everyone deals with stuff. Whatever it is that we have. That it's been whittling away slowly and surely without us being aware of it until one day we wake up and we can't get out of bed, or whatever it is that we experience, or that we have so much anxiety that we're biting our nails down to the freaking cuticle, or whatever it is that we experience, right? So whatever that is, I'm going to take that energy, that's potential energy, I'm going to utilize it for my benefit, and I'm going to utilize it for my growth and expansion. So what we're going to do is and this is what the arc line and the aura does, by the way. And this arc line is this energy field that goes from earlobe to earlobe. And women, we also have it that goes from nipple to nipple. But what we're going to do is we're going to clear that. We're going to clear the imprints that get stuck in that as we move through life. So for instance, as women, when we have sexual relations with men or even other women, doesn't matter. When we have sexual relations, what happens is the imprints of that partner get stuck or they get imprinted into our electromagnetic field, our energy field. And this is something that's going to help clear that out, because when we have all these imprints and we're not clearing our subconscious, well, what are we doing? We're seeing through the filter of the subconscious and the imprints. So what we want to do is we want to clear the subconscious. We want to move the body. We want to clear the arc line. We want to clear the energy field so that we're radiating genuine, so that we're radiating dynamically. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our O-shaped mouth like this, and we're going to use the pump of the navel, that power center, that power hub. We're going to inhale and exhale through that. And the whole while, what we're going to be doing is going like this. Now we're going to do that. I'm going to play another song for you. I'm so excited about this music. This is new music that it's not out online. It's not online yet. This is stuff that's coming out in August. And I was like, what kind of music could I play for y'all? And I'm like, God, I'm so inspired by the new album right now. I just really wanted to play that. And I was talking with Aki, and I was and Charlotte was in here, and I was like, God, y'all, I really want to play this, but I don't know. It's not even mixed. And Aki, of course, he's like, doesn't matter if it's not mixed, it's the vibe, play it. And Charlotte's like, yeah, just play it. And I'm so stoked that they encouraged me to play it, because I'm playing that for you today. And you're hearing brand new music. It's not even hot off the press yet. Okay, so and it's not even going to be till August, but I'm so stoked to share it with y'all. So this is a beautiful chant. It's called a gunjul, and it's a warrior chant. And this is a warrior exercise. We're warrioring right now. And this is feeling the challenge of the world, and we're doing our stuff anyways. You know what I mean? We're doing it anyways, even though it's challenging. All right, so here we go. Get this going. This is just going to be a short exercise, short kriya here. We're going to do it to this beat, okay? Aganjala name samastul nivase. I welcome the infinite in all its forms. The infinite that has no name and no form, that lives in everybody. That's what this chant means. It's awesome. Own your stuff. Own yourself. Own your vibe. Own it. This is what we're doing here. Here we go. This is just going to be a minute, and then we're going to go into a beautiful meditation with mantra. Here we go. Eyes are closed down, by the way. Remember, pumping the navel, O-shaped mouth. This is clearing. If you have issues with anger, we all do. If you have anger issues, this is amazing to help you clear that. Do this for 40 days. You'll be like, it's like a new person. Do it for 1 week, you'll already start to notice a difference in how you don't react. It's awesome. So cool. Ready? Think of something that feels, that triggers anger in you. Think of that. Pull that up right now and work through it. Think of it. Bring that up and work through it. Go. Let yourself feel the anger. Powerful breathing. Come on. Last 30 seconds here. Keep it going strong. Keep it going. Beautiful. Inhale. You're going to take both hands, you're going to interlace them and bring them up above your head. And exhale out through the mouth. Again, inhale. Palms are facing up. Exhale. Inhale last time. Retain the breath. Pull the energy up the spine. Navel, rectum, sex organ, in and up, squeeze, and exhale powerfully. Shake the hands, shake the arms, beautiful. Now we're just gonna relax here. We're gonna meditate, okay? We're gonna close the eyes down and focus in between the eyebrows and breathe naturally. Don't affect the breathing right now, just breathe naturally. Did really beautiful work. It's powerful. By the way, that Kriya is not to be done for more than 3 minutes a day. So that's just 3 minutes. Boom. Meditate. True confidence comes from the inside. There's nothing that we're going to get from the outside that's going to give us that. Nothing. Not a person. Nothing. If you want true, lasting inner confidence, which is the most beautiful asset, you must cultivate it from the inside. And the quickest and easiest and most profound way to do that is through the sound of your own unique voice. I can't tell you that enough. Meditate here. Continue to meditate. Your supreme sound, your genuine, unadulterated sound, which includes your intuition, is your most powerful asset as a human being. Cultivate that on a regular basis. Change your life. Create the life you want to create. Doesn't matter how much money you have. Create the life you want to create. Doesn't matter what color we are. Meditate here, keeping the eyes closed. Be the way you want to be. You want to experience kindness in yourself? Be kind. And if it isn't easy, then do the work. You know what I mean? Inhale deeply. Retain the breath. Squeeze the navel, rectum, sex organ in and up. Beautiful exhale. Awesome. We're going to do this beautiful meditation. It's called Kirtan Kriya. And I love this meditation because remember the imprints I was just talking about earlier, that we get them from trauma, we get them from sexual relationships, we get them from things, beliefs that we buy into, that we take on, things like that. Like, for instance, if you have anything like veins in your legs as you get older, I have some veins in my legs. I always thought there was something wrong with that growing up. I was like, what is that? I'm not talking about everyone has veins in their body. I'm talking about like veins that pop through. And I'm like, what is that? Like, there's something wrong. And I kept talking with people like, oh, maybe I should get that fixed or something. And I was talking with my mom about it. And she was like, honey, don't try to fix it. Just accept it. It's just not that big of a deal. She's like, because you're just going to start trying to fix everything. She's like, if you want to fix it, go ahead and fix it. But she had experience with it. She was like, it's just going to make them worse. So her whole thing was, she learned from that experience of let it be there. You're living life. You have lived life. You've had a child. You're living life. And these are all reminders that you've been living, that you've been here, that you've been trotting through this path of life, which ain't easy all the time. You know what I mean? So let yourself be reminded how beautiful you are because you've made it this far. And that's what my mom said to me. And I was like, all right, fair enough. And that was really cool. That was really good for me to hear. You know, it's not about that we're being shown how to put makeup on. Makeup's cool. There's nothing wrong with makeup. There's nothing wrong with us being shown how to cut our hair or not cut our hair. There's nothing wrong with either one of those ways. There's nothing wrong with any of the information in the ads. There's nothing wrong with what's going on right now in the world. But what I don't like is how we take this on and how we believe that there's something wrong with us when we don't meet up to those expectations. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, for instance, if we're in the yoga world and we're committing to like a meditation and we fall off of the meditation cycle, there's nothing wrong with us. You see what I'm saying? We're taking a break. We're falling off. We're not off the path. You know, people give themselves such a hard time. And just in general in the world, you know, there's nothing wrong with us if we don't have a certain kind of body. There's nothing wrong with us if we don't look a certain way in our face. There's nothing wrong with us if we don't have this kind of hair, you know, or if we're losing our hair. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with us. We're just living life. And these things, this is just life. And everyone has their own lessons that they learn through different aspects of life. So it's like, the thing that I don't like about what we're being bombarded with is that there's an insinuation that there's something wrong if we're not like that. It's not that that's wrong. It's that there's something wrong if we're not like that. But no one is like what we see in the magazines or what we hear, you know, being talked about in a lot of the pop culture. I mean, we're all uniquely ourselves. I'm not like anything else. And if I try to measure up to those things, I'm just going to be depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm constantly trying to fix myself. And that's not what we're endeavoring to do here. In our lives, we're endeavoring to get to know ourselves. We're endeavoring to embrace ourselves, our dynamic selves in all of our aspects. And yes, we're also endeavoring to refine ourselves, but not to fix ourselves, not to make ourselves like somebody else, or to sound like somebody else, or to look like somebody else. We're endeavoring to awaken ourselves and to refine ourselves. Yes, indeed. That's what we're endeavoring to do. So we're going to do this Kirtan Kriya that's so awesome, and it's going to be beautiful. We're going to do it. It's going to be like less than 10 minutes. We're going to do this together, and it just really like shifts the whole vibe. So the words, the mantra is a projection of the mind. It means a wave of the mind. So it's like, what kind of mantra? It's not some esoteric thing that just comes from the East, like, ooh, mantras are so woo woo. And it's not like that. Like, mantras are sounds. They're universal primal sounds that actually change consciousness. They go in and change like cellular biology is what they do. Those sounds are designed specifically to move the tongue in a certain way, to strike the roof of the mouth in a certain way, and to punch in codes in a certain way, to cause the hypothalamus to send messages through the body in a certain way. That's how mantra works. That's what mantra is. Mantra is not about like woo-woo stuff like I'm so spiritual. A lot of people in the West have a misconception of what mantra is. Mantra is the most practical tool we have on this planet. However, what mantra are you chanting is what I want to know, because you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always about like Sata Nama, which we're going to chant today. It's like, I'm not good enough. That's a mantra. And if we're not clearing the subconscious and we're not working with our own voice on a consistent basis, that's the kind of shit that happens, is we have those mantras running through our system, through our circuitry. And is that what you want running through your circuitry? I definitely don't want that running through my circuitry. I'm not good enough. I'm not nice enough. I'm not radiant enough. All that stuff is so toxic. It's not even about like this like magic, like new age stuff. I mean, it's just like enough of that. We've had so much pain that has been caused from unnecessary chatter like that. And so let's do something about it. And this Kriya is super powerful. It's one of the most, it's the top three of the top three powerful Kriyas in Kundalini Yoga. It's called Kirtan Kriya. And what it does is it removes those imprints of trauma, of sexual relations that we've had that stay in us, of any kind of experience that's not really supporting us in our growth. It removes that. And it takes practice and consistency, but it works. So when I learned about this Kriya, I was all about it, because who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to feel kind in themselves? Who doesn't want to feel prosperous? Who doesn't want to have a healthy mind? You know what I mean? Like, I would much rather have a healthy mind than have like a clear face and not a healthy mind. I would much rather have acne and have a healthy mind. I would much rather have thin hair than have like a toxic mind of thinking that I need to be like this and doing all this stuff. I would rather have a not the perfectly toned body or whatever and have a healthy mind than like work my whole life to have a toned body and I have this toxicity in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I think working with the mind and the body is crucial. So if we can do both, great. But you get what I'm saying, right? It's about the health of the mind, and that permeates everything else in the life. So here we go, Kirtan Kriya. All right, so what we're going to do is just sit straight. We're going to have the eyes closed down, and we're going to chant this mantra, Sa Ta Na Ma. The hands are going to be up on the knees like this in what we call Gyan Mudra. And we're going to go Sa, just like this. Just follow what I'm doing. Sa Ta Na Ma. And it's going to go like that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to chant it out loud for a minute. We're going to chant it silently for a minute. Out loud, whisper, then silent for 2 minutes. Then for a minute, we're going to come out of it. We're going to chant whisper and then chant out loud. Okay? So I'm going to time it for you. You don't have to worry about it. And I'll guide you through the steps. But it's just Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. And just focus here in between the eyebrows. Close the eyes. Spine straight, chin tucked in. And focus your gaze in between the eyebrows. Okay? Here we go. Satanama, 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 in a whisper. Sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma. Keep going in a whisper. Na, ma, sa, da, na, ma, sa, da, na, ma. Focus. Sa, da, na, ma, sa, da, na, ma. Focus the gaze. Da, na, ma, sa, da, na, ma, sa. This Kriya will balance all the elements, the fire, water, ether, air inside of us and earth. Now quietly, we're on Sa, Ta, but this is quiet, all in your mind. Remember, we're balancing all the elements. Fire, water, ether, air, and earth. We're clearing the arc line, clearing the electromagnetic field of all imprints that don't serve us. Clear and confident. Feel the sincerity of your sound. Believe in your sound. How many of us were told that we didn't have a good voice or to shut up or all that kind of stuff when we were young? Too many times. And we're clearing that out because that's the most disempowering jargon I've ever heard. Or you're not smart. You don't have anything to say. Shut up. That's like, we're clearing all that. Like, we don't need that. That's garbage. We don't need that. And now whisper, Sa, Ta, Na, Ma, Sa, Ta, Na, Ma, Sa, Ta, Na, Ma, Sa, Ta, Na, Ma. Keep going. Na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta. Eyes are closed. out loud. Satanama, 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 Satanama. And inhale deeply. Retain the breath and exhale. Beautiful. The mailman's here, was trying to get in. Sorry, that was funny. Beautiful. Meditate here for a moment. Beautiful. Wow. Well, that was awesome. That's a really incredible exercise that you can do. It's a kriya. It's called a kriya. It's a whole, full, complete action in itself that causes great and immense just change and perspective shift and health of the mind and body. It's beautiful. And it's called Kirtan Kriya. And that was really, really awesome. I want to do a chant with you, a song. It's really a chant. It's going to be a really easy chant. For those of you that haven't heard these words before, and I want you to use the sound wa, like wow, but wa instead, wa. That's what that means, is wow. Wa he guru. Wa he guru. And when we chant guru, we want to flick the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Guru. It's almost like, it's not guru. It's guru, like you're saying the word good, and you see how the tip of the tongue flicks the roof of the mouth, and ooh, so you're saying guru. And what that causes is the heart to open. It causes the hypothalamus to send messages to the body to relax and open the heart, guru. And the hypothalamus is what dictates, it's the endocrine system. And so it's giving our body messages. And this is what living in the supreme sound does, is we literally change in ourselves on a cellular level, not change ourselves to fix ourselves, but we change the funky habits, the demoting habits, into promoting habits, those kinds of things. Those are the kind of changes I'm talking about. And they happen on a cellular level with this technology. And we're going to do this beautiful chant together. Okay, so we're going to chant Waheguru together, and I just want you to really sing out, okay, and really enjoy this. It's a beautiful chant. I'm going to sing it with you, and just sing along. Waheguru, Waheguru, Waheguru. Waheguru, 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 Keep going. Waheguru means, wow, the indescribable beauty of life is beyond description. Waheguru, 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 Waheguru. Inhale deeply. Retain the breath and exhale. And just relax here for a moment, meditate. It's been an amazing pleasure to spend this time with you. I want to just chant a long Satnam together because we did some good meditation together. So we'll inhale, bring the palms to the center of the chest. in one long Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Beautiful. I love, that's a beautiful mantra, Sat Nam. It means, and in lay terms, when I say in lay terms, because we can't really quantify the meaning of Sat Nam, we can't really put it into words. But if we had to put it into words, it would be truth is my identity. And that's what this is all about. This is what cultivating the supreme sound is all about, is touching that truth, touching that authenticity, and touching that genuine dynamic self on a daily basis, on a consistent basis. And I was talking about all these exercises and vocal exercises and things like that, and this incredible teaching of the Supreme Sound. And that's why I made the full course, the Supreme Sound 2.0. This course is amazing to me because not only is it a comprehensive course to get to know yourself on a deep level, to get to know your sound in a deep way, in an intimate way, but it can change your life on such a profound level by enhancing your relationship with you and you. It's between you and you. It's not between you and anyone else. And it changes the relationship you have with your own mind and your own body and your own sound. And what does that cause in our lives? That causes empowerment. That causes incredible happiness. It causes peace. It causes grit in the face of challenge. Because like I said earlier, that's not going to change. The world is a challenging place. And right now is a super challenging time. We're bombarded with all this information and all this polarity that we experience within ourselves too. And that's tough. It's a challenge. And I empathize with you for going through that. I empathize with myself. It's not easy. I empathize with my son, with my husband, with my friends, because it's tough. It ain't easy. And that's why we need to be here for each other. And this is why I'm so inspired to share this information with you. It's crucial right now. The Supreme Sound, your own unique sound, is the quickest way to your self-empowerment and self-liberation. And I'm not talking about self-liberation like all my problems have gone. I'm talking about exactly what we've been talking about this whole time together, this whole time in this webcast. It's so important, and it's important that we cultivate that in ourselves so that we can also pass it down to our kids and share it with our friends and our family and share it with the world, because how else is it going to change? How else is this society going to change? It's not going to change from us talking nasty stuff about each other. It changes because it starts from in here. That's when the change happens. And so it's got to start in the homes. And I'm so passionate about teaching this stuff. I want to be your guide. I want to guide you through this. I love this work. It is my life's work. I have been using it for 20 years in my life, and my life has completely shifted because of it. The way that I see myself has completely shifted. Doesn't mean that I didn't appreciate my beauty before, but it means that I really know my beauty now, and I know my power. And it's a beautiful thing, and there's a humility to that. There's a power, but there's also a humility to that. And there's the true inner radiance that shines forth throughout and that you feel. That's what people say to me all the time. People always ask me what I do. It's the Supreme Sound. That's what I do. And this was a taste of it today. And what I love about the full course is a 4-module course that you can take, what I suggest, over the course of 1 module in a week. So you could take it over the course of a month or however long you want to. And what I love about this course is that each module includes 3 things. So it's got the teachings, the Supreme Sound teachings, where we dive into the science of it. And we talk about what's going on in the world and how to really cultivate the Supreme Sound. It's got yogic exercises and kriyas to energize us and enliven us so that we feel good in ourselves, so that we feel good in this skin. You know what I mean? That's a challenge in this world. It ain't easy to feel good in the skin. And if you want to feel good in your skin on a consistent basis, then I really recommend you take this course. It's amazing, and it's profound, and its simplicity and its practicality. And these tools are so simple to implement, but it takes consistency in your life to experience the results. And that's why I want to do this together with you. So the course modules are really cool. So like I said, they have the teachings, they have the yogic exercises, and then they have the vocal exercises. And all of this is inside of a physical video. You see this video course. So it's got the audio and the video. And the audio you can so what you can do first of all with the videos, you can download it to your computer. You have lifetime access to this course, lifetime access to this gem of a course that will change your life forever and put you on a path to empowerment. You have lifetime access. So when I say that, I'm not saying that lightly. I mean it. You get it one time and you have it for your whole life. And so you can download it to your computer so it's not reliant on internet. If you want to rely on the internet, that's cool too. You get an access code. It's super easy. You put your access code in and you have lifetime access. What I love about it though is that if you're in the car and you have a busy life, I have a very busy life and I'm sure all of you do too, then you can play the audio when you're getting ready in the bathroom and you don't have time to sit with the video, or you can have the video playing too. Are you getting ready like in the morning? You can do your meditation practice to it. You can put the audio on in the car while you're driving on a long trip or even a short trip and listen to it in bits and pieces. You can get the course now. And if you don't have a moment to do the course right away, you can do it whenever you want. You can take the course as many times as you want because you have it for a lifetime. It's a beautiful thing. It's so beautiful because it enhances your relationship to your true nature, to your true self, the part of you that doesn't die. And that's beautiful and empowering, and it's magnetic. And that's what the sound of our own unique voice does for us. It's incredible. It's an incredible tool. It gives us physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, and energetically we're vibrating at a beautiful frequency. We're genuine. We're accepting our dynamic selves, and we're letting that creative fire come through. It's just so beautiful in whatever aspect of life that we choose. And that's what's so beautiful about it. I love it. And there's also, there's 2 bonuses in the course, which are so rad. Okay, so the first bonus is y'all get my very personal vocal practice. That's bonus 1. My very personal daily vocal practice I'm giving to you in the course. And then bonus 2, there are 2 Q&A sessions with me. So there's just a wealth of information that comes through the Q&As. And I can't suggest that enough. The Q&As and the bonus are worth it on their own. But then, of course, the modules are incredible. And what's also really cool about this webcast and this course is normally this course is $450. That's what we normally sell it for. But for y'all here and now, if you get the course now, it's only $225, y'all. That is a freaking steal. For the rest of your life, you have access to this. And I know people from all over the world that have used this technology and have told me it has changed their lives. And they come up to me and they talk to me and they're like, I'm so grateful. I feel so much more comfortable with my voice now. I feel comfortable speaking out now. It's amazing to me. It's awesome. I feel this and I work with this technology on a daily basis, but this is so important right now in the world today. It's so unique, it's so simple, and it's so practical, and it will change your life. So all you got to do is click through here. It's super easy, and it takes you right to the checkout page. And if $225 is something that you can't do right now, we also have an amazing payment plan. That payment plan goes for 3 months, and you can pay $90 over the course of 3 months. So it's $90 per month. So first month, $90, second month, $90, third month, $90. And if for some reason you take the course and you feel like it's not for you, no big deal. You just contact my team. And if you do that within 60 days, you get your full refund. This is how much I really believe in this work and how much I love this work and how much I want to work with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been an awesome experience together. Click through here, join the Supreme Sound, take this journey with me. It's super easy. Just click through. It takes you a second to sign up. And I look forward to seeing you there. See you soon.